Good afternoon. I'm Osa Tui, President of the Hawaii State Teachers Association, and I'm proud to announce our support for Sergio Alcubilla for Hawaii's 1st Congressional District.
Yeah, Sergio.
In these times, it's increasingly difficult for working class families of Hawaii to get by. We've seen how decisions made all the way in DC can affect us right here at home. President Biden and both houses of Congress have made unprecedented funding available for the Aloha State, but 3/4 of Hawaii's congressional delegation wanted so much more. Ed Case, the other one, is out of touch with the people of Hawaii. While a clear majority of Hawaii's voters supported the Build Back Better plan, Ed Case did everything he could to slow it down and bring fewer of those federal dollars home. The HSTA Board of Directors expresses its disappointment over his actions regarding the Build Back Better plan. Ed Case is willing to allow his constituents to struggle to make ends meet while corporations continue to see record profits and let the rich continue to get richer off the backs of Hawaii's working class. And who else profits from all of this? Ed Case's campaign, which is seeing record contributions from those who wish to maintain the status quo. That is why we need a person of the people representing us in Washington, D.C. Sergio is just the person for the job. Brought to America with his family when he was just a child, after his father was murdered by a communist hit squad in the Philippines, Sergio was educated in public schools and with his wife now send their 2 children to public school here in Hawaii. He's also an active member of his children's PTA. He's worked with Legal Aid Society of Hawaii and the Hawaii Workers Center and knows the challenges that face Hawaii's people. Sergio will work hard to be a voice for the working families of Hawaii and not the corporate special interests that infect our nation's capital. 4 years ago, HSTA went out on a limb to support a candidate against the well-funded Tulsi Gabbard. It soon became clear what a mistake it was to send her to DC. Today, HSTA asks Hawaii not to make the same mistake again in who we send to Congress. Sergio will not have the buckets of money that the incumbent has for this race, but it's our people who matter the most. With your valuable vote, we can send Sergio to DC, and he will represent our people and represent the values that we have here in the Aloha State. Ladies and gentlemen, it is once again my great honor to announce HSTA's recommendation and support for a man of the people who will represent the people, Sergio Alcubilla, for Hawaii's 1st Congressional District.
Thank you so much, Osa, for those kind words, and thank you to HSTA for your support. This really means so much to me on a personal level. I woke up this morning just thinking of all of the teachers that have impacted my life up to this point. I thought of my grandmother. She was a public school teacher in the Philippines, how she used to take me with her to sit in class. I thought of my law school professor, Professor Matsuda, who always reminded me, what is our society's priorities? For me, this is such a personal experience, and just this endorsement just means so much for me. As Osa mentioned, I was originally born in the Philippines. I immigrated to this country when I was 7 years old after my father was gunned down. I was separated for a few years from my siblings while my mom, brought me over here with her, and she saved enough money to finally reunite all our siblings. I can still clearly remember the first day of 1st grade as a 7-year-old kid when I walked in and I didn't know a single word of English. I still have this image in my head in my mind of a picture of a banana, and there was an arrow pointing to it. And the teacher had asked me, what is that word for peel? And I couldn't translate it in my mind. So I told her, that's the part that you eat. But that story's stuck with me all these years. And I remember not being able to pronounce words correctly. I'd struggle with words that were TH. And I just remember the times I would have to get out of class for ESL. But what really sticks with me is just all the teachers, their kindness, their patience, their grace with me, and just helping me. so that I can stand here now in front of you and say that that 7-year-old kid that didn't know how to speak English is now running for U.S. Congress.
Yeah.
You know, as a parent, I think of our children's future. You know, both of my children attend Paoa Elementary School. And I think of how much we could do more to support our teachers and what it means when, as a member of a PTA and as a member of our volunteer group, what it means when we support our teachers and that they don't have to pay for things out of pocket. Just that impact that we have for them. I volunteered when I was in law school at this elementary school in Kalihi as a student aide, and I just remember some of the students that I was helping, and I could just see myself in some of those students because a lot of them, that was their first time learning English. And those are things that really stick with me. You know, I was speaking with a teacher one time, and he was just sharing with me how, you know, after grading papers and preparing for lesson plans for the next day, he would go to another job, waiting on tables at a restaurant, and he did that for 10 years to support his family. And that's just not right. You know, I know teachers don't go into teaching for the money, right? But there's just something wrong about that. You know, if we really believe in our children, if we really believe in the next generation, if we really believe in the future of this country, then we need to treat our teachers with the dignity and respect that they deserve. Again, I just want to thank you so much just for this time. I just want to thank you so much for this endorsement. This is so personal for me for so many levels. You know, as your next U.S. representative, I will do everything I can to support teachers. I will do everything I can to support public school education. Our future depends on it. Our children depends on it. And with that, I just thank you so much. Mahalo. Thank you so much for all of your support. And I go forward and ready to go. Thank you so much, Osa. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Next up, we have our National Education Association Director from Hawaii, Aaron Kubo. Aaron?
Aloha, my name is Aaron Kubo. I'm an 8th grade social studies educator at Hilo Intermediate School. I serve as HSTA's representative to the National Education Association's Board of Directors. The people of Hawaii deserve a representative in Congress who will not just hear their concerns, but actually be supportive and act in favor of those issues. Sergio is this person. As an attorney, he supports the working class and public education. He has children in public schools as an active participant in his children's parent-teacher association. We need members in Congress who unquestionably support public education and public educational issues for all stakeholders. So please vote Sergio for Congress, a true supporter of public education.
And finally, we have Hope McKean, our Government Relations Specialist. Oh, specialist. Our Government Relations Chairperson.
Aloha nui kākou, o Hope Pualani Makeen ko ui noa no hilo waiakea mai au. I am Hope Pualani Makeen, and I am from Hilo Waiakea. I'm a kumu ike Hawaii at Keonepoko Elementary School in the District of Puna on Hawaii Island. I am the chair of our State Government Relations Committee that is composed of representatives from each chapter. At HSTA, we go through a rigorous interview process of any candidate that seeks our recommendation. When we interviewed Sergio, the phrase that came to mind for me, Helei puina ole ke keiki. Our children are our most unforgettable lei. Hawaii is at a critical point that we need to make good decisions today so that our keiki will have a Hawaii to call home. When our committee of teachers interviewed Sergio, the one thing that made him stand out to our committee was his commitment to the working families of Hawaii and his commitment to our keiki. And for us, this is why we recommend that you vote for Sergio Alcubilla, I had to get that right, for Congressional District 2. One. Sorry. Of course, I'm the one to mess it up. Sorry. One. Mahalo.
Mahalo, Hope. And with that, we'll take any questions.
So Sergio, what are the pressing issues that you want to face, that teachers are facing today that you want to address?
The biggest issue for me is just knowing that teachers have to work an extra job just to do the work that they love. You know, for me, that's an issue. What can we do to better support our teachers so that our teachers don't feel like they have to leave public school education in order to survive? That's the biggest thing for me in terms of what our teachers are going through. I think it's just wrong when teachers have to do 2 or 3 jobs in order to do the work that they love.
And how do you plan to address that?
One of the things I'd like to see or I'd like to explore further is what can we do at the federal level to make sure that we have resources for our teachers? What can we do to direct federal monies to supporting our teachers? One of the things I'd like to explore further, similar to what our National Guard has, right? Where they receive federal benefits, but it's under the command of our governors. What can we do so that teachers can receive some of these benefits similar that we give to our military personnel? Things like affordable housing, things like easy access to loans, things like forgiving student loans. Those are things that we can do that I'd like to explore further to make sure that our teachers are being supported.
All right, with that, we want to thank you all very much for being with us today, and please vote Sergio.